Hi everyone, welcome to India Yarn Circle. I'm Divya from String Diary and we're going to get going with the Nifty Thrifty Eco Bag Cal, which is in collaboration with GOkraftz yarns. And today I'm going to show you how to begin and work on the pattern instructions for the week 1 of the Nifty Thrifty Eco Bag Cal. So as you know that the Nifty Thrifty Eco Cal is in collaboration with GOkraftz yarns, and they have provided us with two options for the bag cal. One is the Go High Bulky, which is a heavy DK weight yarn, and the second is the Go Bulky yarn, which is the sport weight yarn. So as you can see, I have both the combinations. I have both the yarns here in different combinations of the yarn. I will, for this sample, I'll be showing you how to work in the Go High Bulky yarn. The pattern instructions for both the options of the yarn remain the same, and you can find all the instructions on our blog. I will provide a link in the description box below for the blog post which has the pattern instructions for this week. So let's begin with our yarn. So now if you're working with the Go High Bulky yarn, you will be using a 5 mm normal crochet hook, whereas if you're working with the Go Bulky yarn, which is the sport weight yarn, you will be using a 3.5 mm crochet hook. So get your hooks and yarn ready and we will begin with the bag. So first off, you have to the yarn kits that you have received will have for the Go High Bulky yarn, you will have 3 balls of 2 colors each, whereas for the Go Bulky yarn you will have 2 balls of 2 colors each. So from any of these 2 colors, you pick up one color as your main color and one color as a contrast color. So don't worry, we'd be using both the yarns equally, so you can select any of the yarns as the color as main color or a contrast color. So I am choosing the red as the main color, and I'll start working with the yarn as per the instructions. So before we begin, let me just explain a small schematic of the way we are going to work on this bag. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a rectangle, okay, and we'll cinch up the 4 corners of the rectangle and convert it into the bag. So if you can see the image that I have put up here, we will start from one corner of the rectangle and work both the sides simultaneously till we reach corner point 2, right? So then we start decreasing on one end and continue increasing on the other till we reach point 3. Once we reach point 3, then we keep continuing on decreasing both the ends, both the sides, and reach point 4. So that is how we make the rectangle. And once we've made the rectangle, we do the finishing cinching of the 4 points. So at every point, we'll insert a stitch marker, and which will help us identify the corner and work on it. So for row 1, it says in MR make 5 DCs. So MR is magic ring. You can find all the stitch names and their abbreviations in our blog post. As I've said, I'll link the blog post link in the description box below. So please go through that. Please go through the notes mentioned in the pattern instructions. So its notes are certain things like the chain 1 or chain 2 at the beginning of a row does not count as a stitch. And the pattern is written in crochet language, which is where it means that if you write SC2, it means 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches, whereas 2 SC means you have to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So you can find all of these notes in the blog post. Please go through them carefully before you begin the pattern. So now the first row says that in magic ring we have to make 5 double crochets. So for the magic ring, there's a simple method that I use, that you take your yarn, hold it on from your thumb and the third finger, you wrap the yarn onto the first 2 fingers and create an X. So if you see, we went down and we went back up and we created the X. Now if you see, there are 4 ends to the X, which is the bottom left, bottom right, bottom left, upper right, upper left. So now what you have to do is take your hook, go below the upper right yarn and go over the upper left yarn and pull it under the upper right yarn, right? If you can see, I'll do it again. So hold the yarn with your thumb and the ring finger, wrap it around the first 2 fingers, hold it with your last finger like that, and insert your hook under the upper right, over the upper left, and pull the upper left around under the upper right. And so now you can leave it. Now you have that yarn around you. Now hold your working yarn like you normally would, and then these 2 strands which you have and this, so you can see there's a circle that gets formed, so that's the magic ring that gets formed, and you can hold all of these 3 yarns together, just hold them together and pull your working yarn, right? So I'm just going to pull my working yarn. Now what we're going to do is, we have 1 loop on the hook. We're going to yarn over, chain 1, yarn over, chain another. So that's your chain 2, and then we're going to make 5 double crochets in the same ring. So you yarn over, now hold the bottom part of that magic ring with the remaining fingers, insert your hook into the magic ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your double crochet. So yarn over, insert the hook in the magic ring, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you continue doing that and make 5 such double crochets. So now if you see that the chain 2 that we did initially, we're not counting that as a stitch. So beyond that, whatever stitches that you're making, that you see the top V's of the stitch, that you can count, and you have 1, 2 and 3. I have made 3 now. I'll make 2 more. Okay, so I have finished making 5 double crochets in that magic ring. Now what I'm going to do is, this end of the yarn which is there, I'm just going to pull it tight, and like magic, the loop or the circle just closes on its own, right? So that is the magic ring. So you can just pull that loop and close the ring. So do this after you have finished doing the 5 double crochets into the magic ring. So that's your first point. So now that we finished our first row, we'll be working, since this is a flat rectangular piece, we'll be turning at the end of every row and working backwards. So for the next row, I'm going to chain 1, turn the work around, okay, and continue with row 2. Now row 2 says 2 SC. So 2 SC means that 2 single crochet in the same stitch. So in this first stitch, I'm going to make 2 single crochets, which is basically an increase at one corner, right? And then SC till the second last stitch. So that's single crochet till the second last stitch. That's the second last stitch, and then in the last stitch I'm again going to make 2 SC. So that's another increase at the corner. So what we're basically doing is that in every row we're going to increase 1 stitch in each of the corners. So each row count is going to be increased by 2 stitches. So now we had 5 stitches, now we have 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches. Now when we go to the next row, again we're going to turn our work, make 2 chains for the double crochet. Now 2 double crochets in the first stitch, that is 2 DC. So 2 DC. Now we have a repeat, which is chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. So chain 1, sorry, I'll show it to you again. We did a chain 1, we're going to skip the next stitch, that is skip 1, and we're going to double crochet in the next stitch. So that's chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Then again chain 1, skip 1 and double crochet in the next stitch. Right, you continue this till the end, ending the repeat on a chain 1, right? And now I have the last stitch, and I will do, so I've done chain 1, I'm skipping the next stitch, and in the last stitch I'm going to do 2 double crochets in the last stitch. So from 7, now we've increased 2 stitches, so our stitch count should be 9. So that's, so the chain 2 at the start of the row does not count. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches, and we have 3 chain space. Alright, so now again we're going to turn our work, chain 1 and continue with the next row, which is single crochet. So 2 single crochet in the first stitch and single crochet in each of the stitch and chain space till the last stitch, till the second last stitch, right? So you're going to single crochet into each of the stitch and the chain space, continue it all the way round till the second last stitch. So this is the second last stitch, I'm going to do 1 single crochet in that, and in the last stitch we are again going to do 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So we're increasing, so as you see we're increasing only at the corners. So 1 increase here, 1 increase here, right? So that's 2 single crochets in last stitch, 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and we continue making the repeat of row 3 and 4 one more time, right? So now you can see that we started with this one corner, that's your corner number 1, and we're going to increase and work our way on the sides till we reach corner point. So we're going to increase and work our way till we reach corner point 2 and start decreasing on one end, keep increasing on the other till we reach point 3, and then decrease both sides till we reach corner point 4, right? So it's a very simple way to work. So I'm just going to repeat row 3 and 4 and meet you at the end of that section. So now I have finished row 5 and 6, and I'm at the end of row 6 where I have to make 2 SC in the last stitch. So I'm going to make 2 SC in the last stitch. However, because we're doing a color change, the last stitch I'll just insert, pull up a loop and not complete the stitch with the same yarn. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'll take the second contrast color and make a slip knot. So slip knot is very easy. You just hold the yarn, take it from the bottom, twist and pull the working yarn through that knot, right? So a simple slip knot, and what we'll do is we will put a hook through the slip knot and pull it through the 2 loops to complete the stitch. So then you can just pull this main color thread to tighten it up and you can cut the yarn. So you can cut the yarn here. And just tie a simple knot between the two colors so that it does not come undone. So don't worry about weaving in the ends right now, because we're going to be working on the edges, and you know, we can put all the ends into our stitches when we work on the end. So now when you do that, you have a clean color transition from the main color to the transition to the contrast color. So now we're going to continue with row 7. So chain 1, and of course we're turning the work, and it says 2 SC in the first stitch again. So 2 SC in the first stitch. I'm just gonna tighten this knot a little bit, maybe add one more knot just so that it doesn't come undone, right? So 2 single crochet in the first stitch. Now we have the repeat, which is chain 3, okay, skip 1 and SC in the next stitch. So we skip 1 stitch and single crochet in the next stitch, and then continue the same. So that's chain 3, skip 1 and single crochet in the next. We continue doing this all the way till the second last stitch, ending with chain 3. So I'll tell you what that means. So I'll continue working on the row. So that's chain 3, skip 1, SC in the next, chain 3, skip 1, SC in the next. Now you have 2 stitches remaining. So gonna do the last repeat, which is chain 3, skip 1, and instead of SC in the next, in the last stitch I will make 2 SC. So 2 single crochet in the same stitch, right? So that becomes our row 7. Now again we're gonna do chain 2 and turn, and we're gonna do double crochet. So the increase at the corners still continues, even though the stitch is different, but the increase still continues. So we're gonna have 2 double crochet in the first stitch. Now double crochet in the next stitch. That's the single crochet that you have below, right? Now single crochet in the chain 3 space. So single crochet in the chain 3 space, that's a repeat. So single crochet in the chain 3 space, double crochet in the SC. So double crochet in the SC. Now this is what we're going to keep repeating throughout. So single crochet in the chain 3 space, double crochet in the single crochet, single crochet in the chain 3 space, double crochet in the next stitch, right? We're continuing this all the way till the end. So single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, and a double crochet, single crochet and a double crochet, single crochet and a double crochet. Now we still have the last stitch remaining. So in the last stitch we will make 2 double crochets. So that's 2 double crochets in the last stitch, right? So now according to our counts, it has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 stitches, right? Now in the previous row, you'll find the stitch count as the single crochets and the chain 3 space that we create, right? So now we'll repeat row 7 again once. So I'm going to do chain 1, turn your work, 2 single crochet in the first stitch, chain 3, skip 1, single crochet in the DC. Now chain 3, chain 3, single crochet, so skip 1, single crochet in the DC. So this is in the DC that you worked in the single crochet from 2 rows below. So in the next stitch, so single chain 3, skip 1, single crochet in the DC below, right? So continue this all the way till the end, and we'll just do a count check, stitch count check for this row. All right, so just a few more. So that's chain 3, skip 1, single crochet in the next. So chain 3, skip 1, single crochet in the next. The last repeat is chain 3, skip 1, and in the last stitch we'll make 2 single crochets in the same stitch, right? So now we're going to check our stitch count. So now if you see, I'll count the single crochets first. So I have 1, 2, so that's 2 single crochets in the first stitch. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? 2 in the last. So I have 12 single crochets and chain 3 spaces. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 chain 3 spaces, right? So don't worry if it flares out from the main color section, the first section that we did. It'll, once you block, it'll all even out properly. So I'll continue doing row 8 and row 7 and 8 continuously for the number that is mentioned, so that you're going to be doing a total of 6 rows for this section. So that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? So that 6 rows forms your section 2. So let me just complete that and I will come back to you. So now I have reached the end of row 12, right? And I have the last double crochet that I need to make. So I will yarn over, insert the hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and like before, I'm not going to complete that stitch with the same color. I will take the next color, make a slip knot, okay, keep the slip knot a little loose and pull that slip knot through the 2 loops lightly, pull the contrast color loop to make it tighter here, and chain 2, right? Now once I've done that and finished, I will cut the contrast color yarn and tie a double knot here just to keep that stitch secure. Right? So we finished row 12. Now row 13 to row 13 to 20, sorry, yeah, row 13 to 19 will be the same. But instead of your starting 5 stitch, we will start directly from row 3, right? That it will be a similar of row 3 repeat, right? So row 3 repeat is basically you chain 2, and of course you turn your work and double crochet in the first stitch, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. Right, so that's your repeat. You continue doing that all the way till the end, and double crochet in the 2 double crochet in the last stitch. So chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Right, so it's very simple, just simple basic stitches with a combination of chains and single crochet and double crochet that kind of gives us the effect and the texture that we're looking for, with the mesh kind of an effect for this bag. Right, so similar, just keep continuing the same thing. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet. Right, so you just have to continue this till the end. So there I am at the last stitch now. So chain 1, skip 1, and in the last stitch I'll make a double crochet. I'll make 2 double crochets, sorry. Right, so that's your row 13, and row 14 is again a repeat of row 2, which is chain 1, turn your work, 2 single crochet in the first stitch, and then single crochet in each and every stitch till the second last stitch. Right, so very simple, just a repeat of row 2 that you're making here, just the count is different. So every row, please check your stitch counts. There is a table at the end of the blog post which gives you all the stitch counts for each row, so it will be easier for you to check and calculate the number of stitches that you have at the end of each row. Right, so it's just single crochet all the way till the end, and in the last stitch we will do an increase, which is 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Right, so I'm almost at the end here. There you go. So now in the last stitch I'll make 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Right, so now that is basically how you keep working ahead over and over again. So you make the 6 rows in your main color, which is in DC and single crochet, and then you make the next 6 rows in the contrast color, which is your chain 3 spaces and single crochet double crochet combination. Right, so you keep continuing these sections as much as the number is mentioned in the pattern, and that's it for week 1. So you will see that the pattern grows from both the sides, and we will reach that point when we come back in the next week. We'll be learning on how to decrease and how we go about creating the rectangular shape. So I'll continue working on this, and I will see you next week for further instructions. If there are any queries with regards to the pattern, please get in touch with us at IYC, or you can get in touch with me directly at on String Diary at Instagram, or you can email us, or you can just put a comment in the video below. So we'll get back to you to resolve your queries. Right, so that's it. That's the instructions for week 1. Hope you enjoy making this bag, and looking forward to seeing you next week. Bye bye.